All right, guys. Um, so I just want to respond to the old video. Okay, so the audio was really bad with the old video because I was half asleep. It was while I was laying in my bed at 11 p.m. and I was quiet, so I'm going to try to improve. The comments that I got were so bad. They were funny though. They were saying I sound like a 12-year-old who just took a bong rip or something. That was pretty creative. Um, anyway, so I just want to mention that I'm not hating on him. Um, the only thing I have to criticize is that he earns money from the gold sales through SD bullion, and he could mention that. But I really like his videos. They're very entertaining, and I'm not a financial expert or anything like that. I'm just into personal finance and economics. I don't have a certificate or anything. Um, so I just want to say that, and yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna start reacting to this video, and let's see what he's going to say.
Uh, Most of you know I'm leaving for Texas shortly, and I came over to rent a car here over this enterprise. And what's very interesting is they are closed until further notice. But take a look at this parking lot. Uh, every one of these cars is an enterprise rental car. All these trucks, SUVs, cars, all have.
Okay, I just wanted to say that moving to Texas is a very good idea because California is way too expensive. People who move from California to Texas, their quality of life increases like exponentially. I think Texas doesn't have any income tax either, so and it's more conservative, which means I don't want to sound like some I don't know redneck here, but your rights are more protected than in California, and the housing market is cheaper. So I agree. Moving to Texas is a good idea. You just um, have to be careful about floods. My friend is from Texas, and I think the crime is about the same.
Uh, Enterprise stickers on them. They all have writings on the windows, and they've been dumped off here in this parking lot. I got a McDonald's here, a Starbucks, a Burger King, um, Winchell's, Popeyes, and they just dumped all their cars in this area of public parking for these other businesses. So all these SUVs and cars, everything over there. I've got probably a good 100 cars here with the Enterprise store right there, their office, closed until further notice, whatever that means. So couldn't rent a car today, but plenty of cars in inventory just sitting here in this parking lot.
I wonder at what kind of place he is because Hertz filed for bankruptcy, so it could be Hertz, but I'm not sure. But yeah, obviously nobody's going to want to rent a car right now if you can't go anywhere. So
That services all these restaurants and other stores. So I thought I'd just show that to you today. I wanted to point out one more thing. Drive through right here, probably about 12 cars in it next to the McDonald's drive through. But on this Memorial Day, what I find so interesting, but not shocking by any stretch of the imagination, is I've probably passed 6 different Starbucks today in Riverside County, and there were so many cars in the drive-through. It was the probably.
and that's because so he went to car rentals and car um, places where you buy cars, and that does not represent the entire economy. You can see Starbucks is doing well, the grocery stores are doing well. I really don't think we will have a collapse because that's just one part of the gigantic economy we have in the U.S. and the transportation sector is not in a good place right now. But I don't think we will have a collapse. Obviously, other stores are working, and the root cause is not our economy. The root cause is this pandemic. And obviously, I'm not saying we will recover very fast. I don't think there will be a V-shaped recovery or anything like that. It will have consequences, but personally, to be honest with you, nobody really knows what is going to happen because this is unprecedented. Um, so yeah, but what he's showing is just one part of the economy. But I agree that things are not good right now, and that we're in a huge crash. But I don't think we will go back to the Middle Ages where we have to deal like with gold and stuff like that. But it's always good to diversify your investment portfolio. And he creates really good content. It's very entertaining, so you should support him if you want to. I just wanted to clarify that I'm not hating on him. I really like his content. Anyway.
Probably the busiest game in town was Starbucks. People cannot wait to spend that stimulus money on their $5, $6, and $7 mochas and coffees. But I mean, this is like a little itty bitty out of the way Starbucks here, and there's 12 cars in the line right now, and this is one of the lesser or least busiest ones I've seen of the day. Some of them, the lines have wrapped around parking lots. Absolute insanity what people will do for a $7 coffee today. So half the country doesn't have a job, but people out spending $5, $6, $7 for a coffee. It's unbelievable. Another very interesting thing today, I was at Bath.
I agree that that's ridiculous. People should be more responsible with their money. But the big companies, the corporations, they're getting bailouts, and stores are starting to open, so that those are good signs.
Bass Pro Shop, picking up a rod for my reel today, and the sales guy told me that he was very happy that people were back out shopping, that the store was open, and I have to agree. He also said that most of the people in this store are spending their unemployment money. I was a little bit surprised he would say that. But I asked him, what's going to happen when the unemployment benefits run out? And he just shook his head and said he doesn't know. It's going to be very interesting what is going to happen when millions of people don't have a job to return to when the benefits do run out. Are the
So what Obama did is he extended unemployment, and the stimulus check is there to stimulate the economy and help people out at the same time. So what I think is going to happen is people will get unemployment. We might get a second stimulus check, but I don't know about that. And as stores are opening up again, um, employment. I think most of the economy will be open before we run out of unemployment. But if we don't, I think unemployment will be extended, especially with the next election coming up. Trump will want to be popular, so I think it won't be as bad as we think, but the long-term consequences will be not good at all. So, but I think we'll be fine at the end of the day. Everything is rigged anyway, so I think we'll be okay.
Starbucks going to be busy like this? Are the Bass Pro?
Unless there's a second wave, but I don't think. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows. We'll just have to see what happens.
Shop's going to be busy. Only time will tell. Right now, I'm happy to see things are opening up. It's just good to see people out walking around. That's definitely a plus and a positive. But I'm not getting my expectations set too high because we are certainly not out of the woods. Just look at the amount of unemployment money printing that is taking place, and very dramatic repercussions are going to occur because of this behavior, period. There is no way to avoid consequences that we're going to suffer from all this money printing and just handing people money to not go to work. I'm sorry to say that. I don't.
I agree. There could be some hyperinflation, but nobody knows. Not even Warren Buffett knows. Nobody will know what the consequences will be. We can only guess.
Mean to be negative, uh, but it is what it is. People are going to have a huge wake-up call when the government no longer is sending those checks, or that money starts buying less and less because of the severe money printing. It's going to start causing inflation. Inflation will go to hyperinflation. We're seeing it right now. Look, I just went to the grocery store last night. You go buy some seafood. Seafood, what I bought was up 25%.
With this, I've heard different things. The the prices going up has nothing to do with hyperinflation. It has something to do with supply and demand. People are getting sick. People in the like meat plants, they're shutting a lot of meat plants down because people are being some people have coronavirus and then they shut down everything. So the lack of work um, makes the food more expensive, and they have to follow more like guidelines, and all of that costs money. I don't think that has anything to do with printing more money, but obviously we could expect hyperinflation. But right now it has nothing to do with printing more money. It's just the labor, the lack of labor, basically, and the demand.
From what it was 30 days ago. 25% increase in the seafood I bought last night compared to 30 days ago. So, look, people out there will argue that I'm wrong, but right across the way next to the Winchell's Donut, I see a brand new for lease sign next to.
And I just want to say those are just anecdotes. Those are not any, I don't know, like statistics or anything. That's just some store that closed temporarily in his area.
Winchell's and Popeyes. So we'll see how it all plays out. I pray to God. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the economy comes back roaring and booming. I pray that we're not going to lose millions of jobs over this. I pray that everybody has a job to return
We'll
to.
probably lose some.
I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. So I wanted to share a few minutes with all of you my experience today over at Enterprise Rental Cars. Closed until further notice with 100 cars sitting in the parking lot. Most of you already know that Hertz has just filed bankruptcy.
Yep.
Last week when I shot the 1,000+ rental cars parked over at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, there were a lot of Enterprise cars there, a lot of Enterprise utility vans over there. So what kind of problems now are we seeing with Enterprise? What kind of problems are we going to see with some of these other car rental companies? But I wanted to go over an article with you that was on shtfplan.com a couple days ago. The Fed is now the proud owner of bankrupt Hertz bonds. And this is where we're at today. This is where it's all going. The Fed is.
I agree. They just print money and buy everything, and this is not a free economy anymore. This is. I agree. I don't like it either.
Buyer and lender of last resort. The Fed disclosed that it's holding $1.8 billion under corporate credit facility holdings. This includes purchases of both investment grade LQD and junk bonds. As I make this video right now, as of this very moment, the Fed is a holder via BlackRock and via HYG and JNK of bonds, which are in default, which both hold Hertz bonds. So we now have the Fed holding Hertz bonds. So this means that they own part of Hertz. So what does this mean overall? We have the Fed now
manipulating everything,
holding these bonds, holding bonds of other companies, but now holding these bonds of Hertz, making them part owner of Hertz. Should this be legal? Should this be allowed where the Fed now is going to be owning these large companies, buying junk bonds? It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable where we are at today. Wolfstreet.com, Hertz bankruptcy and fleet liquidation threaten to make mess of used vehicle price with burst of pent-up supply. And it's not just going to be Hertz. It looks like Enterprise is going to be in some trouble too. I mean, just think about that. 100 cars sitting out in the parking lot, closed until further notice. So now I have to go to a different Enterprise office or a different rental car office, not even knowing if half these places will even be open. Last I looked a few days ago, it doesn't even look like the rates have even come down that much. So I guess we're going to have dollars floating around. They're going to be liquidating cars, less cars on the lots to rent. And so does that mean prices could even go up? Flights, airline flights going up because there are less flights. Now, will I be having to pay more for rental car, even though there's thousands of these things sitting on lots all around my area here? Am I going to end up even paying more than I did a year ago? It's going to be interesting. I'll keep you posted with that. So as I was out today, as I shared with you, being at Bass Pro Shop, running some errands throughout San Bernardino County.
As I already said, I think the transportation sector is in trouble. Even Warren Buffett sold in Berkshire Hathaway. He sold all of his. I think he sold Southwest and Delta or American Airlines. I can't remember. But this, I don't know if you should wait. I'm not recommending anything because this is not financial advice. But this could be a hypothetical. I can't even say that word. This could be a good opportunity to buy airline stocks, especially an ETF called Jets. It's like 30 different airlines, that ETF, which is good because if one company goes bankrupt, you're not losing all of your money. So anyway, yeah, so this is a good opportunity to invest, but I don't know how low we can, how low it will be. So I would wait a little bit, but I bought an ETF called Jets. I didn't like buy a lot of shares, but yeah.
Riverside County, look, more tents are popping up all over the place. I'm always looking off the side of the freeways, and
To
every
be honest with you, this was the case before the pandemic because Southern California.
time I'm driving down I-10, down the 60, down the 215, down the 15, guess what I see? I see more tents popping up. And this is a really bad indicator of where this economy is going. Look, there were people out today spending money, no doubt about it. Were they spending their
Well,
money?
this is not really the economy's fault. This is just the way Americans spend their money. I don't know. I think it's like 50% of people live paycheck to paycheck and have no emergency funds. They can't even cover like a $400. I think he even said that they can't even cover $400 expense. So I think this is just an issue with how to handle money. So
Money? Were they spending stimulus money? Were they spending welfare, or excuse me, unemployment benefits, welfare benefits? I don't know. Like, what are they spending? Um, but it just looked like nobody was phased. Everybody was out having a good time, spending money. So maybe this isn't going to be as bad as we think, or maybe it will be even worse than we think.
I don't think
I'll
so.
tell you, it's almost confusing.
Yeah,
But
I
I
agree.
didn't see as much traffic as I thought I would see on Memorial Day weekend. I didn't see as many boats coming home from Lake Havasu or Parker, Arizona. Um, but I did see RVs. I did see the fifth wheelers driving down, but I didn't see as many boats. I didn't see nearly as much traffic as I normally see on the freeways out here on Memorial Day. That's for sure. So it's definitely more quiet, less traffic.
Well, that's because the government, especially in California, they are finding people who are going to the beach.
But
So
by looking at people today shopping, it didn't look like they were hurting too bad. But wasn't that busy. Bass Pro Shop for Memorial Day, not that busy. Only 40% of Americans plan to grill this Memorial Day. It will host smaller crowds, less food. This is on the Hedge 25 to 30% of consumers are planning to purchase less food and beverages than a normal year. 40% plan to celebrate this holiday versus 56% in a normal year. Many still have health concerns. And yes, there were a lot of people wearing masks today. I would say it was about 50-50. But at the end of the day, what I take away from all this is something really feels off here. Definitely less people out. Definitely less people out shopping. Yes, there were people shopping. Yes, there were people spending money, no doubt about it. But for Memorial Day weekend, for a Memorial Day period, the roads were not busy at all. The freeways were wide open.
Well, that's because everything is closed. So
I would say Bass Pro Shop had 100, 150 people max when I was in it. And you know these stores are enormous. And most of these people were there picking up firearms. That's where 50% of the crowd went, right upstairs, picking up firearms. So I don't know if that is indicating something also, but this is definitely a different time, a different era in history. Things are definitely changing. Things don't feel right, in my humble opinion. Something is definitely off here. Let me know. Comment down below. What do you think? Were you out today? How was the traffic in your areas? I know that the beaches, I heard, were packed all over the country. But the retailers didn't look that busy, even though there were some people out. My area out here, the outlets out in Cabazon looked closed. Nobody there, closed down. There were still a lot of retailers, a lot of restaurants closed, takeout only. There is some patio seating taking place, but things were definitely more free in San Bernardino County.
well, here's the thing. So obviously everything is closed because of the government, and it's really bad for small businesses. But the corporations, the large corporations, they're all getting their bailouts, and that's how we're gonna get through this. As terrible as it sounds, unfortunately, the small business owner is gonna drown and gonna die in this. Um, but I don't think you need to buy any gold. But if you want to support him, you can. I like his videos. Um, but yeah, I don't. I obviously all of this is closed because of the government.
Versus Riverside County, certainly more free in Riverside and San Bernardino versus places like LA County, Orange County, San Diego County. But things don't seem right. This economy is not completely open, no doubt about it. You can certainly see the beating that this economy is taking. Some very large stores closed. And when I shot that video in the Enterprise parking lot there, there was a store that was for lease. It is closed up now. I actually remember the individual. I met the individual who owned that store. He was a barber, owned a small barber shop. And I had actually went out to the range a couple times with him, helped him with his shoe.
And unfortunately, because of this, a lot of businesses will go out of business because government is restricting everything. Um, if this barber would have survived this lockdown, they will have a lot of business once all of this is finished. If people are not scared, then people will get a haircut because I know a lot of people who need one and they want one. And somebody went to a different county, not county. I think it was like 3 hours away. He went there just to get a haircut because they just opened places like that. So I think if you can survive this as a business owner and you cut hair, you will be good. But as we can see, there are consequences to all of this.
His store is now closed.
And those people don't even get the bailouts. The large corporations get. I think there's like a $10,000 loan you were able to get, and then there was the EIDL $1,000 you were able to get for each employee you have. But I don't own a business, so
His barbershop
I don't know too much
is
about
closed,
that.
bit the dust. And I know he had like 5 or 6 kids. So what does this mean for somebody like him with 5, 6 kids and a wife? So yeah, something is not right here, and you can definitely see the wreckage that this economy is taking. No doubt, big trouble ahead. Many stores along the freeways were closed. Many stores were closed permanently with signs for sale, for lease, going out of business sales. I was on the 91 freeway in Riverside across from the Tyler Mall. 2 big stores closed. One of them was about an 80, maybe 100,000 square foot furniture store going out of business sale, closing soon. Another one, I believe, was a Boot Barn, big store in the same shopping plaza, closed. So that's going to be 2 large stores in a shopping plaza closed. Again, Bass Pro Shop, maybe 150 people max. Half of those people just there to pick up firearms. Took me about 15 minutes max to get into the store.
Okay, I don't know if this is getting too long. So I'm just gonna stop here. Anyway, so if you like this response, then leave a like. My last video, I think I had way more dislikes than likes. So I don't think anyone will like this video, but that's fine. Um, yeah, stay safe, guys, and if you want to support him, go ahead and use his link, and I don't know, leave a comment, and yeah, that's all I have to say.